Hey folks, Will Brink here, www.brinkzone.com. Sitting here in my messy office, I want to cover a topic that's become really popular, which is meal frequency. That seems to be sort of all over the place right now. And I think what's happened is there's been a paradigm shift away from the advice of 5, 6, 7 meals a day in a completely different direction. And I think what that stems from is eating a recommendation of 5 meals or 6 meals or whatever it was became dogma in sports nutrition circles or bodybuilding circles. And what happened really is that people were led to believe that if they didn't get 6 meals or 5 meals or whatever, that they would make no progress, that they were just wasting their time. And like many things, what became advice, best practice, what have you, then became dogma and absolutism. And I think that turned a lot of people off because a lot of people felt, well, I make progress fine on 4 meals, or I can't do 5 meals, therefore I give up, and so on and so on. And there's been a certain amount of data in the last few years that has also indicated that perhaps the number of meals is not as important as was previously thought. I think what has happened is mostly if you are hitting your target calorie and your target macros, the general advice is that meal frequency or total number of meals, let's say, is not absolutely essential. And what has happened is you just see a shift totally now to the opposite, which are now people are stating, well, it doesn't matter at all, whether it's one humongous meal, 2 meals, what have you. And I'm not really personally there yet to that point. I don't think we've gotten to that point. I don't think the data absolutely supports that as far as active, healthy people. There has been some interesting studies that did run almost a year or some longer than a year looking at some popular diets such as Atkins versus Jenny Craig versus other popular diets that found that at the end of the day it really was mostly calories in, calories out kind of thing. That is the effects at the end of the year in regular people, not athletes, what have you. So I don't think that should come as any big surprise. I think people should look at it as, again, from what level is the person at, what are they trying to obtain type of thing. And still the data, as far as I'm concerned at least, is not conclusive as to what is absolutely best practices number of meals. However, average person, or not even average person, but the person who's working hard in the gym wants to make changes in their physique. For the most part, you figure out the number of calories you're supposed to take in, you figure out what your macronutrients are, you split up the number of meals over the day that you can fit in realistically to your schedule, and you're done with it. Now that might end up being 3, it might end up being 4, and whatever. I doubt at the end of the day it's going to make a huge difference. Now, could that make a difference to high-level athletes trying to eke out a 1% or 2% improvement over long periods of time, years? Maybe. I will say that most of the athletes I know, high-level athletes I know, be they bodybuilders or other, tend to eat multiple meals. The successful athletes, that's a common practice, and I don't think it's something that people should just ignore and throw out the window at this point, which I'm seeing a lot of. I'm not convinced that 1 giant meal or 2 meals or whatever is still going to be the equivalent to, let's say, 4 or 5 or something at the end of a long period of time, a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. And the problem is this is something that's not going to get tested. That's my email. It's not going to get looked at in the data probably. Finding what would probably be minor differences is pretty difficult to do, especially again in people that are looking for small differences in their physiques and that type of thing. And some of it is individual. Some people feel that they run better, do better, what have you, eating smaller numbers of meals with more calories per meal. Some people feel they do better. Personally, I get 4 meals a day, and on workout days I get 5 if I include the post-workout drink. And that's pretty much how I run. I can say, when I was younger and really focused on bodybuilding, I ate more meals. I felt it helped me recoup and fuel, but that's, anecdotal, subjective. You can take that for what it is. So I think that the debate is a good one. I think it's a good thing that we should look at dogma. I think we should always question, absolutes. Again, people were taught for a long time that if they didn't get this number of meals, 6, that they were just wasting their time, and that's not true. The other problem, however, is that people like absolutes. If you say get your calories, get your macros, and eat as many meals as you can and be done with it. People don't like that answer. People like absolutes. People want to know it's 4 meals or it's 5 meals or it's whatever it is. And that's the problem with, let's say, nutrition advisors like myself. We can't win. You give people an absolute number, they don't like that. You give people an amorphous kind of vague number, hey, just get the number of meals you can, they don't like that. So that's my complaint about that. Post-workout meal, I want to throw in a quick caveat there. There's also been a bit of a rejection of the post-workout meal, again, sort of evolving from the eat whenever you can, don't worry about number of meals thing. And again, I'm not really on board with that. Again, it depends on the person. If you're talking about the average person, just trying to lose some fat or what have you, or they're not real serious in the gym, they work out, it probably doesn't matter that much. But I'm not ready to throw that concept out for higher level athletes, people at lower body fat, people trying to eke out, again, this 1%, 2%, 3%, whatever difference it might make. I would still say that post-workout, from a serious resistance training workout, what have you, that a post-workout meal, we can argue whether whole food or liquid or whatever makes a difference, but I still think that there is a metabolic advantage probably to getting that nutrition in more or less as soon as possible, and I still prefer a liquid meal. And again, we can debate whether or not that is really going to be beneficial long term or not, but just look at it this way. The answers are not into all these questions. So the best thing to do is keep an open mind and do what you think works best for you, but I would not go the extreme from the old dogma to a new dogma and just say none of that matters anymore. And I hope that helps. And if you like this, please hit the link in the Twitter, or the like and the Twitter, and I'll see you all on the Brink Zone.
Now, for more information on this topic, head on over to www.brinkzone.com, where you'll find my blog, more videos, free reports on fat loss, muscle building supplementation, fitness, health, and longevity, as well as a ton of articles in my free weekly fitness newsletter. And I'll see you all on the Brink Zone.